Ink had always worked with Alpha Sans since the beginning and aided him wherever he was needed and even still annoyed Error from time to time, but during the events of chapters 3-7, something began to change in Ink. After his deal with an unnamable, he soon would be given godlike powers and even would gain emotions forever. However, it came at a price. He would always be haunted by the voice of the creature and he would be as far away from the creators as possible, no longer able to talk or hear their wishes, and now possibly is no longer a being of free will, but is perhaps now under the control of a being he couldn't ever hope to comprehend. Ink is cold and yet very emotional and expressive, with all his more darker sides, ideas and nature all brought to the surface. Ink is incredibly emotional and doesn't hold back, being very expressive, especially with Error, who he now is able to express his deep hatred for. Ink's brush now is able to be messed with multiple ways, allowing for him to change its weight and its length if needed while still being able to use it. Ink Blaster is able to summon his blaster from his ink. Flight with the new Soul Ink is able to fly around. Body manipulation with the new Soul Ink can change his body and do just about anything with it. Unnamable Soul Ink's new soul is the hardest it's ever been and is unbreakable to most effects or most people. Creativity Ink with the unnamable soul allows him to be as creative as possible and even allow him to fight with his mind, turning his ink or even something of the environment into whatever he needs. Ungodly Strength Ink's new soul allows him to overpower anyone. No doubt even the strongest amongst the Alphaverse crew would find him hard to pin down. Consumption similar to another skeleton, Ink can absorb and devour other individuals, adding to his own strength. The Inkmation is Ink's being-like form, giving him near unlimited power for a short period of time, less than 5 minutes, but more than two. The Inkmation is incredibly powerful and obliterates anything in its pathway and can destroy about anything it wants, but the form is almost never in Ink's control, for this is truly Ink at his worst. Orb of Utter Destruction. The Inkmation's only attack is its strongest, firing what can only be described as a fraction of the unnamable's power. This attack is so strong it causes a singularity, sucking in hundreds of multiverses at a time into one point of non-existence to where he will never return.